Hello everyone, LRon here with part 99 of my total Terraria world Annihilation. So, as I've said before, this will be the final video where the 9 screens will be present simultaneously. The next video will pretty much be the last video that has content towards the effort of destroying the planet. And the one after that's the final one. That's kind of more like an epilogue, just to kind of wrap things up. That one I presently don't have set to any form of speed scale, but I'll probably just speed it up to whatever's necessary with what I say. So basically, if I find myself only talking for a couple minutes, I'll just actually, if I only talk for a couple minutes, I could put it into the previous video because I think for continuity purposes, I decided to branch out. So the final video with content is only like 6 or 8 minutes long. Let me see here. Oh, I guess 9 minutes and maybe 10-ish seconds. It's hard to tell because I'm zoomed too far out. Yeah, so I guess if my final bit takes under a minute to discuss, I could consider just plopping it back in to make it just be 100 videos instead of 101. But in any case, this has been essentially a year-long project with a lot of videos, so it almost doesn't seem worth it to sweat the ending that much. Um, and I guess I'll avoid spoiling what goes on in that final bit, so I guess I'll stop talking about that. I gotta find something to talk about. Oh boy. That's depressing. I got my Paradise Lost stuff talked about. I finished up Fallout 4, what I missed from the previous cohort, and all the Dark Souls 2 stuff, and now I'm back to the point where I need to filibust. That's just kind of sad. I didn't think that I was going to need to filibust in the final cohort, but here I am, speaking in circles while I think about what to say. Well, I guess I do have something to say. So, hammering is considerably more boring for me to physically do than drilling, believe it or not. So, generally speaking, I was only able to mine essentially 90 feet down no, 60 feet down per actual physical play session, which generally averaged out to be like 40 minutes worth. So my methodology, well, I guess you've been watching, so you kind of know my methodology, but I've never talked about it, so I might as well talk about it now, was to always stop at the center or really close to it, and then continue to mine out the 30, or continue to mine out where I am, drop down 30 feet, mine the entire length west, and then come back halfway east again. So one full set of 30 feet plus 2 half sets of 30 feet equate to a net of 60 feet per cycle, let's call it. Sometimes I can get through 2 cycles, and sometimes I couldn't pull myself to do that. I for a good amount of that time I listened to like the uh, the best of the Fallout radio music and tossed in some of my own music as well once that started to get a bit boring. And nothing could keep me entertained, so generally things went slow going. But then when I got Paradise Lost, I needed to step up my pace. I needed to be able to do more than just one cycle in a given session, because that essentially meant one cycle in a given day, if I can even pull myself to do a daily basis. And so the final few videos, have me going for multiple hours, or maybe multiple hour sessions within a given day even. And I know this math doesn't sound right given the fact that I was saying that a cycle took 40 minutes. Generally, cycles got faster the deeper down I went. Up in the higher regions, there were like the lizard temple and the high density dungeons to deal with, and generally as we got deeper there was less stuff to hammer, so it generally got faster. But anyways, the thing that actually made me go push farther, I actually went to YouTube and started listening to the beginning of the Total Terraria World Annihilation. um, I actually went and started from one and recorded more content, breaking down the walls, while listening to my excited self from a year ago, hoping to get this all done in 3 to 6 hours. What a fool I was. And then, so by the time I finished getting the last of the stuff hammered out, that got me to listening all the way up to part 45. I think that's the one where I finally defeat the brain of Cthulhu for the first time in this world. And you may have forgotten by now, but it seems like I was talking about killing the brain of Cthulhu for like 20 videos, it seemed. Like, it's like, alright, should be coming up in like 1 to 2 more videos. And then things just happen to stall it. And wow, it's kind of just crazy. And the fact that we were even calling the brain of Cthulhu an exciting point was kind of depressing in itself. I mean, I guess technically it is a boss, and at one point it would have been hard for someone, but not for Cat Al Thum, and certainly not in this world. But I guess it kind of just gave us something to look forward to. 'Cause, I mean, the goal of total Terraria World Annihilation, back around video 20, was so far away that we needed an intermediate goal to keep our sights on. So it certainly gave us something to set our sights to, but um, when you actually stop and think about it, it's kind of a silly thing to stop and hope for. Um, and then, of course, the whole concept of avoiding Plantera was kind of silly as well, because we needed to kill Plantera to open up all those dungeon chests. But, of course, I forgot about that restriction, so, um, yeah. But I guess, long story short, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, you could probably just listen to me and not watch it again, and basically treat it as a podcast if you just, for some reason, like the sound of my voice. I can't imagine anyone actually liking that, but anyways, I will see you next video.